All right, good morning. Welcome to the USA BMX headquarters groundbreaking. If everybody kind of jump in the seats, move up here. If the speakers will join me on the stage, we'll get this thing going. Thank you all for being here.
Yeah, they changed the order around apparently at like 11 o'clock last night.
We did. So, in BMX, it's a random gate selection. Okay. We had to change it around a little bit.
Okay. So Nelson, how are you? They will introduce all of us. We don't introduce anyone.
Okay. Well, that's my city.
Let me grab this. There's one on the end.
I'll go down here. Yeah.
I'm hiding behind the podium.
Hi, how are you? It's good to see you, Michelle. Fantastic. Yes.
All righty. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to this amazing day and this amazing groundbreaking ceremony. My name is John David. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of USA BMX. Thank you all for braving the cold weather to come out to this historic day. Today we celebrate this historic moment as we put shovel into earth to begin what will be the epicenter for the sport of bicycle motocross. Today the city will be written into the history books of our sport as the most significant partner that the sport of BMX has ever had, and the official home of USA BMX. I'd like to start the ceremony and kick it off by certainly welcoming Mayor G.T. Bynum, the distinguished City Council members, the City Council staff, and the Tulsa media, and the countless partners that are here this weekend that have worked so hard and so diligently to make this happen. Also, I have to recognize and say thank you to the USA BMX staff and those that are in attendance, starting off especially with Bernie Anderson, our chairman. B.A. Anderson, our CEO. Rob Gardenhire. Rob, where are you at? Rob Gardenhire, our Chief Marketing Officer. Mike DeVarney, the Executive Director of the USA BMX Foundation, bringing education to the Tulsa citizens. We've got Justin Wall and George Vick as well. Guys, thank you. Without you, we wouldn't be standing here today. Next, I'd like to introduce our MC to this very distinguished grounds. Very fitting to have this man come and MC this event for us and to talk a little bit about the historic value of what this means, especially for the Hall of Fame. Mr. Cash Matthews. Cash is one of the original Oklahoma inductee into the National BMX Hall of Fame. He's our MC at every single USA BMX Hall of Fame and cannot wait to get into Tulsa, Oklahoma to MC the Hall of Fame induction ceremony here. Cash Matthews.
Man, this is awesome, and thank you, John David, for the kind introduction. 48 years ago, just down the road in Shawnee, Oklahoma, a bunch of 12-year-old kids built the very first BMX track. And what we didn't know is we were casting a stone into the ocean to create a ripple, and today this is the edge of that ripple. We were just kids who wanted to ride our bikes, and we were looking for something to do. And you know, guys like me, kids, especially from that generation of the 70s, a lot of us were running from something, and BMX gave us something to run towards. And that made all the difference in my life. I'm so honored to be here today to turn a shovel of dirt on what will be a giant ripple for the next 100 years for the city of Tulsa, for the sport of BMX worldwide, and I'm honored to be here. They always say, ride a bike, it will take you places. And certainly I've been a benefactor of that. As we open this historic facility, I think it's incumbent on all of us to recognize our own value to the endeavor. See, I was a racer. I got to ride towards the finish line. But without everybody that supported the sport, really we had nothing to go on. And so whether you're a parent, a track operator, just somebody tuning a bike, a racer, or just the family of a racer, you've all made a huge difference, and we all lift each other up for the better. And I salute each of you for doing that. What we're building here will have an impact literally as long as we're a community. You know, BMX racing first is great for the individual. You know, it taught me patience and curiosity and diligence. It taught me how to lose gracefully and how to win humbly. And all of those things made me a better human. I took those things and built my business on that starting at the age of 20. What I learned from this sport gave me a foothold that has benefited me all the days of my life. It also benefited my family, will benefit yours, as my family gathered around me as we rose up to the ranks. It benefited my community, my city of Shawnee, my community of Tulsa as we build sport. It benefited our state to have the Grand Nationals here, and surely it benefits our country that we are the reigning gold medal champions in the Olympic sport of BMX racing. It's amazing. 6 years ago, this endeavor was just an idea, and today, as we turn over dirt, I am honestly the most excited I've been about the sport of BMX ever right now. And I do thank all of you for being part of this. You are part of something that is absolutely wonderful for our kids in our community. The impact of having a facility like this in Tulsa, Oklahoma is vast. One that the community can rally around. This can be a center point for what we need to do to build a better community. Tulsa is the best place on earth, and we just made it better. We get to go build into the lives of children not yet even born, that this facility and all that it stands for will raise people up and give them something to run to. Having a Hall of Fame like we have today would be hard to explain. That we commemorate and memorialize for all time those who rose the excellence to the levels of excellence that would get you into the Hall of Fame has a worldwide impact. You know, I'm a nerd, and I get to study all the Hall of Fame so we can make ours better, and I can tell you, and I want to invite you to the Hall of Fame. When we get here, we have the best Hall of Fame in all of sports, and the way we do it is just impeccable, and we've got something really good here. Tulsa is going to have great benefit from this Hall of Fame. People come the world over to find out about BMX, and they're going to come to Tulsa and do just that. BMX affected a generation, the 80 million baby boomers, like me, like Tommy Montgomery. You know, we were just kids on bikes. I was in my doctor's office last week. He's my age, and he invited me to a health fair today. I said, I can't go. I'm going to a bike deal. And he goes, bike deal? I went, yeah. And at BMX. And he's like, really? I BMX'd. I had a mongoose. And he went from doctor to 8-year-old. See, we've affected a generation of people, and to the men and women who've brought this together, to this community, to USA BMX, man, I salute you. You know, ride a bike, it will take you places. You know, I've always said if you give a kid something to do, it will occupy his time. But if you give a child something to be, you'll change the world. BMX did that for me. It is my honor, thank you. The people that work behind the scenes, I'm just the pretty face of BMX, so we've got some room to grow. John David said I had a face for radio. I don't know what that meant, but thank you for that, sir. So as we go into the program, I want to introduce an icon in the sport of BMX racing, a man who's given tirelessly for this endeavor, a man who loves the sport, and he's not just the CEO of USA BMX, but he also rode a bike. He was a competitor. His family was greatly benefited by this sport, and I'm deeply honored to introduce my friend and a man who's made a world of difference around the world in the sport of BMX, Mr. B.A. Anderson. B.A.?
Thank you, Cash. Thank you, Cash. So as Cash mentioned, the sport of BMX has a long history in the state of Oklahoma. Our first Grand Nationals we hosted here in 1983. We've been here since 1998 with our Grand Nationals. We've been awarding the most coveted national BMX titles in the world here in Tulsa for over 20 years. There's not a kid in the sport of BMX around the world that does not dream about coming here to Tulsa to race his bike. So when Ray Hoyt approached us about the potential of being involved in the vision package for 2025, of course, we were elated. It doesn't make, the state of Oklahoma and the city of Tulsa makes perfect sense for our company due to that fact that everybody dreams about coming to Tulsa every Thanksgiving. And the other thing is, if you're a BMXer, Thanksgiving means Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been racing BMX since 1976. Our first Grand Nationals in 1978. I've missed 2 of them since then. So Thanksgiving to me is Oklahoma. So we can't wait to get here and put a shovel in the ground. It's the great partnerships that John David mentioned and that Cash mentioned with all of our foundation efforts and our STEM education efforts. We're currently in 68 schools around Oklahoma with STEM programming. How to assemble a bicycle, how to build a BMX track. So my promise to the city of Tulsa is every elementary age student will experience the sport of BMX in some form or fashion through building a BMX track in school, assembling a bicycle, or participating here at the facility. So with that, there's a lot of people that have made this project a reality. And first and foremost, I'd like to thank Ray Hoyt for getting this going. Mayor Bartlett and the past city council, thank you guys for having the vision to include us. And of course, the current city council and Mayor Bynum as well. And Councilmember Hall Harper, thank you for having the vision to help, the vision for this project to be created in your district. With that said, I just want to put a shovel in the dirt and I can't wait. So thank you guys for coming out, and I'll now turn it back over to Cash.
All right.
What you do speaks so loudly, I cannot hear what you say. When I see men and women bring this event together, I love what's going on here, and I love people who do what they say they're going to do. And I am honored to introduce GT Bynum. By the way, GT is a great bicycle brand. We couldn't have a better next speaker than somebody whose name GT Bynum. When I found out I got to introduce him, I was psyched for that. So all you GT riders, you're going to love this. Please give a warm welcome to Mayor GT Bynum.
Thanks, Cash.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah, it was meant to be, I guess. An entire lifetime of having that pointed out to me. Finally, full circle right here. You know, this is a really historic day for our city, and there are a lot of people that got us just to this point before we've even turned the first shovel of dirt. But I really do want to thank a number of people that have helped make this possible. First, I want to thank my colleagues on the City Council who believed in this project. And maybe I think it's important to explain before I go any further. You know, it's been well reported, everybody I think here knows, this isn't where this was originally planned. When we first talked about this in the Vision program, we weren't talking about having it here. But when the opportunity came up to relocate this to a different location, we started talking at the city, and we thought, where could it have the greatest potential impact on this community? And it was the Evans FinTube site. There was no question for us, because we've seen in Tulsa what can happen when you have a public investment that then starts drawing people to a given area and creates much greater private investment as a result. And we knew that the city had had this property for decades, and that it was in the historic Greenwood district, and that there was so much potential in this area if we could start drawing people here. And then all of a sudden we have this Olympic sport that people around the world love, and that people from around the world are going to come to Tulsa for, and we can locate its headquarters and its arena right here in the historic Greenwood district. That made us so excited, because then we suddenly realized that this became about so much more than tourism in Tulsa. This became about community revitalization in Tulsa. And all that sounded great, but there's a lot of details that you have to fill in to get from that realization to where we are right now. And it took a city council that was committed to the project, to move things around that needed to be moved to make sure that we could make this happen. It took a lot of work from our engineering services team. I want to thank Paul Zachary and Mary Kell for all your work. It took years of work, and I want to give, again, a lot of credit to my predecessor, Mayor Bartlett, and to Michelle Barnett, our Deputy Chief of Economic Development. who really brought in EPA grant funding to clean this site up so that it could be available for a transformative project like this. That kind of work was necessary over years to prepare this site for where we are today. We're so thankful for the work of Todd Architecture Group, of the Sales Tax Overview Committee, to ODEQ for their work on this site, and to the Tulsa Parking Authority, who believed in this project and were willing to work with us to make the parking on this site feasible. I want to thank the Hardesty Family Foundation. Shifting the locations came with additional expense. Suddenly we didn't have a building that everybody could just move into. We were going to have to build it. We were going to have to build a parking lot and revise a site. And that took additional expense. And between the City Council and the Hardesty Family Foundation, we were able to close that gap. So Michelle, thank you. But I want all of you to take a moment, because everybody here I know is going to be back to see it when it's open. But take a moment and look around at what you see right now. I mean, you see a gravel lot, overgrown grass, a rusted out building. You're going to come back here in just a few years' time, and this entire space is going to be transformed. You're going to have an arena where Olympic athletes train and compete for the opportunity to represent our country in the Olympics. And one of the things I love about USA BMX's approach is that those athletes will be training Tulsa kids who dream of one day being Olympic athletes, and how they can pursue that dream right here in our own community. You're going to have this building right here. This is the old Oklahoma Steel building. If you love the historic buildings of downtown, most of the steel that built those buildings came out of that building right there. It's one of the most historic buildings in all of Tulsa. That will be revitalized through private redevelopment. Where all these cars are here, you're going to see private redevelopment there as well. And all of that is going to be possible because USA BMX believed in Tulsa and believed in this project and believed in this location, and the citizens of Tulsa believed in it too. So before anybody else, first and foremost, I want to thank the citizens of Tulsa for having the ambition and the vision to know what our city can be if we're willing to invest in a project like this and make it happen. And your vision and your commitment is going to be rewarded through this project. So thank you all so much.
Just another example of how a setback can be a great setup for something greater. And Mayor, thank you for those words. Yeah, there were some challenges, but through great challenge comes great reward, and I'm excited to see that. Our next...
I really apologize.
We got more? Get in here.
I'm a moron. I got all carried away with my own verbosity, and I forgot someone very important. Nick Doctor has... we're going to have to change the carpeting in the mayor's office because he has worn ruts in it, pacing back and forth. We would not be here today if it were not for Nick's work. Nick, thank you so much.
All right, we're going to carry on with the program. I got to do a talk last weekend in Houston where they built a Olympic-style BMX track. The city got behind it, and we were out there at 9:30 at night, and there were 100 kids out there riding their bikes with their parents. And once again, the impact on an area is just hard to calculate over a period of time. But all of the people that participated, once again, you're making a huge difference. Vanessa Hall Harper is a council person from District 1, and we're going to bring her up to share about the impact on this area. Vanessa? All right.
A lot of mics up here. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. I must admit that when Nick and Mayor Bynum approached me about the idea of this project coming here to this site, I was torn. But I do believe that the best decision was made for the community as well as for the city. The BMX development in the historic Greenwood District represents the opportunity to grow. and to develop the district with progressive ideas. BMX is a sport that all youth, specifically those that are 25 and under, is increasingly becoming popular, even amongst the African American community. Speaking from a health perspective, this endeavor represents an opportunity to promote health and wellness at a high level in my community in particular that experience health disparities, some of which results from sedentary lifestyle choices. And so I'm excited about that opportunity. I know that many in my community are not happy about this project, coming particularly to the Greenwood District, as a district known for Black entrepreneurship, and we can't forget that. I understand the frustration of the land lost in Greenwood and the current gentrification we see taking place in this community. BMX is coming and will bring many visitors from all over the country and the world to the Greenwood District, and I'm excited about the opportunity of sharing the history of Greenwood and Black Wall Street to people all over this country and all over the world. I'm excited about the opportunity not only to share the truth of the history of the 1921 massacre, but also the resilience of Greenwood and how we survived as a community and as a people. I made a promise 2 years ago that Greenwood is near and dear to my heart, and I will make every attempt to be involved in this process from the beginning to the end, and I have done that. I have and will continue to work diligently to make sure that the legacy of Greenwood is honored and that Black entrepreneurship is not forgotten. In fact, utilized in not only the development of this project, but also the other private developments that are coming to this area. I'm particularly excited about that. Thank you. Black businesses and small businesses in my district are ready to capitalize from the millions of visitors that BMX will bring into Greenwood over the next 100 years. I will make sure that this development will give back into our community and that a percentage of the people who work here will reflect the city of Tulsa. That's important. It is my hope that the people in my district see this development as an opportunity to generate tax dollars in the Greenwood District that will benefit this city. And I'm just, again, excited to be here this morning. I know we have a lot of work to do. And this is an opportunity, this project is an opportunity to bring what we all know to be a socially and economically polarized city together. It could be the start. We have many projects that we are working on that can do that, but I think this project can really go a long way in doing that. It's going to take work, but we can do it as a city and as a community. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Lots of people came together for this, and I'm going to introduce Ray Hoyt, who has been very instrumental in bringing this, obviously, to fruition. So if you would, please have a warm welcome for Mr. Ray Hoyt.
Well, good morning, everybody. I am still kind of numb. I can't believe we're standing here today. This is happening. There's so many people to thank that I don't have that much time. But I want to start with BA and Bernie and USA BMX. When I came here 9 years ago, you know, our relationship was really strong, but I think they would tell you today that it's like we're like brothers. And we've done that because we've worked together on this project since 2012. This thing has fallen apart at least 3 times, BA. You know, and good things don't happen without a lot of work. But this thing has been in 3 different locations. 2 different cities have tried to poach it from us. And I won't say who those guys are. I'll just leave them out of this conversation. But the tenacity that the city and our voters and the vision package and Mayor Bartlett and Mayor Bynum and his staff and the city council, we never gave up on this project. And the BMX people never gave up on Tulsa. There are many deals that go awry and go south and you never hear about them. But we always stayed to the point of we were always the best place for USA BMX World Headquarters and National Headquarters. We were always the best place. And I don't think they ever thought there was a better place. They entertained other options. I'd say they dated around a little bit. But at the end of the day, the marriage was here. The marriage was here. So thank you, BA and Bernie, for believing in us. And John David, you know, we get the Grands coming up here in 2 weeks. It's the center of the universe for cycling in Tulsa, Oklahoma, for Thanksgiving. Those people, hundreds of thousands of people have celebrated Thanksgiving in Tulsa around the Grands in Tulsa. So when BA talks about this, that's where these people want to be, it's absolutely where they want to be. And if you've gone out and talked to those people from Australia and from New Zealand and from Canada, they couldn't be happier being in Tulsa at Thanksgiving, where many of us want to be at home. All they want to do is they want to be at the Expo Square riding in the Grands. So thank you, BA, for being a part of all that. I want to thank the Hardesty family for stepping up. You know, this project, like I said, has had so many ebbs and flows. At the end of the day, Mayor Bynum and the Hardesty Foundation, they always wanted to do the right thing on this project, and we were never going to compromise. And there were times when there were what we call value engineering discussions, and we just weren't going to do that. We were not going to value engineer this project. We felt like it was too great of an icon for Tulsa. It had too much to deliver to BMX and to our community and to BMX as a sport that we just weren't going to compromise. So I really want to thank the mayor and Nick and the Hardesty Foundation and all the groups that stepped up to fill that gap, because that was literally the toughest part of this activity. So Mayor Bynum, thank you so much. We still have a lot of work to do. This building is going to come out of the ground. We're going to get started, but I can tell you our partnership with USA BMX is going to go beyond just them. They have great partners in the industry of cycling, and we're going to work to bring more cycling genres to town. We're going to be the epicenter of cycling. We've already got Tulsa Tough, we have Ironman, now we have BMX as national headquarters coming out of the ground. There is more to come. There's more work to do. So don't think that this is the end of it, okay? If there's anything I could tell you is that we don't rest on our laurels. We don't rest on our last big deal. We always look for the next one, and I can tell you BMX is going to help us do that. So thank you for the future, BMX, and our partnership, and look for more to come. Thank you.
It's great to introduce Shane Fernandez, who is with the construction company. Once again, another person who's a professional, done well in life, but has a history in riding bicycles. And it's amazing where a bicycle will take you. And today it brought Shane to this stage. So Shane, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Please help me welcome Shane Fernandez. Thank you, sir.
Wow, it's amazing. As Cash mentioned, you know, BMX for me was my story. I aspired to be one of these elite Olympians, but I was an at-risk youth, and BMX for me was a way for me to change the pattern and explore and get my life on a different trajectory. So I totally get that, and I appreciate that very, very much. I've got to say, on behalf of the Nabholz family and our team of construction experts, we don't have the words to describe the honor that we have to bring this to life. There's been a lot of work. As Ray mentioned, we had a meeting at In-N-Out Burger about 6 years ago, right, John David? Talking about what this could look like, and here we are today. And this is transformative. You've heard, and I won't repeat what everybody said, but this is transformative not only for the BMX community, it's for the cycling community as a whole. Tulsa is becoming the epicenter in the United States for a lot of disciplines, and BMX is the foundation of any bike you're ever going to ride. Everybody in this group, if you've ridden a bike, you've ridden a BMX bike because you start on a 20-inch bike, and so that's what we all have in common as we stand here. I'm also excited as I put on the architecture, construction, and urban design hat that I wear professionally for what this is going to do as a catalytic effort to link downtown with our North Tulsa community. It's been long coming, and cannot wait to see, as Mayor Bynum would say, 10 years from now when we're all standing here and you guys remember this day, what this looks like and what it has started in terms of progression to the north. So extremely happy about that. I want to say thank you, really, to the city of Tulsa, both a lot of city councilors, Mayor Bartlett, Mayor Bynum, our current city council, our previous city council, a lot of other people. I know that Jim Coles was at that first meeting. He's back there somewhere. Jim, where are you? Raise your hand. There he is. So Jim, Ray, and I met with the team back then to get this going, and certainly Nick. But where is my team? So as we talk about what is next, our team always sits kind of humbly in the shadows. So over here, Mr. Feemster, Ryan O'Neill, Camille, Danny, and I know that Barry, where are you? These guys hide all. He's back there. They're going to be living on this site. Next week, you're going to start seeing some movement as that piece of equipment starts moving north to start moving some ground and moving some of that old steel out of the way. And you'll start seeing that progress immediately. So thank you to our team. I'm so proud of them and what they're getting ready to accomplish. I want to thank the design team. So Todd, Mike with Action Sports Design, and Wallace Engineering. These guys have put in a lot of effort. There's a lot of complication with this site, as you can imagine, from a civil standpoint. So that group has been amazing. And again, one more time for the city of Tulsa. So again, thank you so much. We're excited to get this thing moving for you, and appreciate you very much.
All right, thank you, Shane. So I know Shane will be the first one to bomb down the Olympic Hill at the new facility. Shane, I want to ride in this thing and tear some steel up. Well, hey, in closing, and again, thank you all for being here. It's such a great turnout. It's so awesome to see Tulsa get behind a project like this and support it. See a lot of old friends and some new ones and important leaders in our community. And we're so happy that you're here to celebrate this with us. So one last story. I know that Michelle and the Hardesty Family Foundation has been thanked. Dana, Dave down here, Roger, I guess, back in the office. But when I should have been working and I was playing golf, and Michelle called me, and she said, "Hey Rob, yeah, I got your voice message. I want to, let's meet and talk about BMX. Sounds exciting." Well, we did that, and fast forward about 11 months, and Michelle and it was great because Roger, her father, I would show different renditions of everything we had going on, and Roger always said, "You're not there yet." And he said that about 6 times, and then we I guess in March of this year we had a great meeting. Phil Lakin, Jeff Stava, John David, myself got together. The city and Mayor Bynum as well. The city had come back and gotten us there, and so Roger and Michelle and the Hardesty Family Foundation, we were there. And so just to thank you for your commitment to our project and to the city and to the kids. It's going to be just an awesome place for kids to learn up and become a Cash Matthews someday, and a Shane Fernandez, and have an impact on kids' lives. So that's it for us here. I will say this, everyone on stage, we do want you to grab a hard hat, and you're going to be in the first shovel line. And then the city councilors that are here, there's a bunch of you I see, so you'll be in the second shovel line. So please come grab a hard hat, and then we'll take another photo with the awesome, how about these shovels here, right?
Good job.
That was quite the construction project at the Garden Hire Casa over the last week or two. But thank you to everyone who contributed to that. And then I will say too, there is some more food, but there's some souvenirs back there. The number plate magnets are yours to take that look like this, so please help yourself to those. And one apiece though, please, Shane, just one. But anyway, again, thank you all for being here, and we're so excited to get this project off the ground.
It's going to be cold. They have these knee socks on, and they're trying to stick them on.
All right, so first line, let's jump up here and let's turn. Let's turn some dirt. I don't really know how you do it with animals, so figure that out. So let's lean it back and get a picture here. Everybody that needs one. 1, 2, 3. Here we go.
Another pose here, boy.
chocolate, as they say.
We good? All right, city councilors, please join us for.
How about Nick? We need Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
Nick. Mayor Bartlett, if you wouldn't mind.
Vanessa, stay up here with us. Oh, yeah, you don't get out of that.
Yeah, you're council.
And if you're wondering, the 8 shovels, this is how many riders take off at a starting gate in BMX races. So.
I don't know what they're doing with these hats. Yeah, I don't know. You're on that genre.
No, we gotta get them. I've got extras for our staff. Sorry, Fred.
No, you're good.